Right guys, what is going on? So today we are going to be going over some league play tactics on Garrison, playing the mode control. I'm going to be showing you the different positions you can play and the different tactics for when you're attacking both sites, defending both sites, how I like to play it, and just to give you a better understanding of how each role can be played. We're going to be starting off on offense and we're going to be attacking B first. The simple reason I like to do that is because A is much harder to cap, so if you can capture B early, the quicker you capture it, the longer you've got to then try and capture A. We're going to be starting off with the position that I normally go for, which is the first SMG, and we're going to be hitting vents. The simple reason I like to run this route is just because it isn't one that everyone always runs, and there aren't many places you can get shot from. You just need to make sure that as soon as you get in the vents, you pre-aiming in case anyone's down there, and then you need to watch anyone crossing mid and anyone that could be pushing the actual B site from there. So we're going to push up towards the vents now. The first time you do it, you don't need to worry about anyone being about until you get in vents, because they're obviously running off spawn as well. But make sure you check here, and you obviously check the entrance to the vents. Now you need to make sure that there is no one crossing there.
Indicating waypoint.
So make sure there's no one there, and also make sure there's no one crossing mid. After this, you're going to jump up and you're going to challenge the wood room jump shot. Make sure there's no one in. As soon as you get in, you're going to want to get a trophy down, and if you've got your ARs behind you, which I'll show you in a moment, then you can challenge in front of you. But if not, you're just going to want to sit in that spot and make sure that the enemy can't get you while you capture. Okay, cool. So now we're on to the first AR. Now it's important with this AR that they're watching from the back. This AR is intended to make sure that if the SMG or AR in front dies, that they can kill anyone on the front. But if the players are there, the SMG and the AR, you're going to want to make sure that no one's flanking from either side, from vents or from mid. And if the SMG that is around A dies, then and calls out a flank, you want to watch for a flank. Okay, so on to the third player, which is the other AR. Now this AR is going to be on the capture point, and they're going to be providing closer support to the SMG. You're going to want to watch for any mid pushes first and any push under the tank. After this, you're going to push up to the middle, and you're going to make sure that there's no mid cross or mid push. And then once you've taken out anyone that could be there, you're now going to push up on the point. Make sure there's no one pushing vents if the SMG dies, and then you're going to push up. Obviously you can just be on the point and capturing, helping your SMG out, but if your SMG dies, you can kill anyone on the heady, and if your SMG hasn't died, you can watch a vent push to support your other AR that's up there, or a back push, or a green push. Now just make sure that the final SMG is in and around A to distract the players off of B. So now we've captured B, we're now going to walk towards A. First, you want to make sure that there is no one around this mid area. You're going to kill anyone here. The three main positions they're in normally is up there, on that barrel, or just around that area there. Once you've taken anyone out, you're now going to want to push up and make sure for any cross from spawn. If there's no one there, you're going to push up and kill anyone on spawn, and then after this, you're going to work on the pinch to try and take anyone off the A point, whilst your other SMG and AR are killing anyone from green, top green. After that, you're going to work in this room, and your area is going to be the mid to take away one of the exits, or should I say entrances towards A for the enemy. Obviously you can work in and around it, but you're mainly working on that mid area. Okay, so now again we've captured B, and your AR here is going to take anyone out of green room. Once that area has been taken, you're going to want to watch both of these headies down there and also up in that room, provided you don't want to look around the corner too much, because then you need to check after all of that anyone there. Once you've cleared out all of this area, you're then going to jump off the bridge and push up. Now you need to make sure that you watch these headies again, just in case anyone's come up. Challenge the corner, and you're going to get into this spot right here. This is good because you've got one sub in the middle, and you're going to be watching any cross to try and flank round green around the back, and if anyone slips through. Now your third AR, or should I say your third player who's playing AR, he is going to push from the back, and he can push two ways. He can either push up towards top green from the bridge, whilst the SMG is pushing top green from the ladders and challenge there. But he can also push up top green after his SMG here, because his SMG will clear out the room, and then he'll go in after him and clear out anyone else that's still dead. But be careful, because this AR needs to challenge anyone that could be heading on the steps right there, and also jump round and clear anyone who's going to be on the tank. As soon as all that's clear, your job's going to be to just get onto that point. This is your main line of sight, and you can do it from down there and capture it, or from the top. Now let's say, for the sake of saying, your mid AR dies and calls out a push, you're also going to watch green. So your main route is going to be watching the right hand side,
Indicating
but you can
waypoint.
also watch the mid. Bear in mind, if you're on the floor, you can obviously capture the point, and if you're up top, you can't. But if you've got your SMG on the point, you're not focused on capturing the point. Okay, so now we're on to the last SMG. So he, until we've captured B, is going to be working on just causing a scene. As soon as we've captured B, he's pushing up and clearing out A for the AR. He's then going to make sure there's no one about, and as soon as we know that there's no one about, he's going to then let the AR take anyone out on the tank, and then push through, clearing anyone out that could be pushing up to the point. And this is going to be your main capture point. So you're going to have the AR on the tank watching your outside, you're going to have the AR watching the mid, you're going to have the sub in the actual middle area, and then you're capturing. But let's say that this submachine gun dies that's in here, you're going to then push up and take his position while the other SMG spawn jumps on top of that box and continues to capture. Doing all this will mean that you've got one AR watching the right, an AR watching mid, and then your two SMGs capturing in the middle. Okay, cool. So now we're on to defense. Now I think it's important that you double stack A and double stack B, simply because A is by far the most important. If you've got a good team and they're capturing B, that's fine, you can let it go. But even a good team will struggle to capture A if you defend it correctly, so make sure you're protecting A. Now with one of the players going towards A, I think you send an SMG straight up the middle. Off the start, you don't need to worry about anyone around here, because you've obviously come off spawn, but I think it's key to push down here because they won't expect it. Watch out for the AR that could be watching this push, and then go up. Clear anyone out that could be at vents, clear anyone out that could be near the bridge or on the heady right there. After this, you've got a few options. If you don't believe anyone's behind you, you can push through vents and you can sit right up against this doorway right here. A lot of players will just run through without checking, and you can shoot them as soon as they come through, so it'll be a nice easy kill. You can push out here, but I think it's easy for ARs to chow you, so I won't recommend it. But let's say, for the sake of saying, you believe there are players behind you. There's two ways: straight over the top, or you can jump shot round. After this, you can push right up to the brick wall and kill anyone pushing through, or you can push right on top of here and you can try and get some spawn kills to alleviate the pressure for the AR that's going to be at B. Now let's take the other player that's going to be at B, the AR. I think for this position, it's nice to literally just push up to this room right here. You can actually challenge this room without having to peek the corner. You can get a trophy system down as well, so that you can't nade you out. And if you have to challenge, because your SMG's calling out players, you've got the vent room, the top heady, and the bottom heady. Now let's say you die, or you don't want to be in this position anymore, you can just push up and sit here. Again, you can get a trophy down, but it just makes it easier for you to contest. You can also use your utilities to slow the enemy down, and it just means that you're not an easy target. But yeah, that's about it for B. I think A is much more important. So the SMG that was originally pushing up through the middle, I think should still push the middle. But now your focus is going to be pinching anyone that's trying to push top green. Obviously though, if they've captured B, they might be pushing middle, so you need to be careful. So when you push through here, this time you need to check everywhere. Check anyone pushing there, check anyone on that heavy right there, and if it's clear, you can push up. Challenge anyone that could be around here, and then jump shot and challenge anyone around here, particularly on that heady.
Knowledge
Then you
waypoint
want to
quartz.
either push straight up the middle and challenge anyone there, but if you believe that there's people behind you, you can also wrap all the way around the tanks and challenge anyone around this area, and then just make sure you're a hard target. You know, watch all your angles, do some jump shots, and if you're super lucky, you can push all the way up and be a bit of a menace on here to try and keep them off green for as long as possible to help your people at green. Cool. Now with your AR that was at B, if you're still alive, pull back. If you've just died and you've spawned up, I think it's good to stay in spawn. Simple reason being is because you're going to want to watch that outer flank. So if you push up to here, you can watch a few things. You can watch anyone pushing mid or over the bridge towards green and call it out. But you can also watch that flank all the way that comes around here like we showed you on offense. Kill anyone in there, kill anyone that's coming from the bridge or mid, and basically just be a call out machine and stopping the flank on the outside. That's that. Now we are on to the other SMG. Now with this SMG, right off the bat, even when we've got B, I think it's good to push up to top green. It alleviates any pressure top green if they are pushing A with the AR that you're going to have in green, and he has a few options. Like I said, he can slow anyone down that might be trying to push top green, but let's say for example there's one person left at B, it might even be worth pushing over the bridge and killing that last one at B so that the other AR and SMG can stop it. Also, you can challenge anyone at the headies if they're not expecting anyone to be at top green. But the main reason to be up here is for when the enemies have captured B. There's a really nice little spot you can sit in, just to your right now here, and this means that when they try and push over B, they won't expect you to be here, and you can kill them straight off the bat, and it'll just slow down that push towards A side. People might come up there as well though. Now, once you've killed people, they're going to know you be there, so you don't want to stay there any longer. And your main role now is to interchange with your other SMG. So sit back, watch for a mid push, and there's a few spots you can also watch from it from here. And this is just for if anyone slips through past the other SMG. Now let's say for the sake of saying that your AR at top green dies, then you can be a support player to that AR. You can push round towards that AR and you can kill anyone that could be up there from a few different angles. So you can push up from here and kill anyone that could be downstairs, or you can push round this way and kill anyone that could be there. But let's say that spot's fine and your SMG going up the middle's died, you can then push up the middle and kill anyone who's going to be in the middle, and your other SMG that died in the middle and that's just spawned can take your place. So you two can be very interchangeable. You can pinch the top if they're coming up the top, or you can go around the back. But both SMGs can take it in turns, you know. One can sit back in the spot we showed, one can push the mid. When the one that's in the mid dies, the next one can push up, and they can just keep taking it in turns, one sitting back, one pushing. Now on to the most important part, which is the AR watching top green. This needs to be here from the start, because if you lose A, you've lost your defensive round, and if this player can hold A, you are not losing your defensive round. So there are a few spots that you can sit in. The obvious one is just on this little bit towards the front of the tank, and this just gives you a nice line of sight towards most of the green room. Obviously you can't see the bridge, and obviously you've got some really nice cover if they're shooting at you. The second spot you can sit in is just behind on that fence there. It did take me a few attempts, so I won't go there if there's loads of offense about, because you'll die, but if there's not, it gives you a second option. And then the final spot you can go in is just on the tank right here. Obviously this won't get any time off though, so if the offense have got time on, you're going to want to get the time off, but it gives you a third spot to sit in, and it's just really nice. Now the final thing I want to make a point of is trophies. They are so important. You want to make sure they're in a spot people don't see.
Trophy
like
system here.
Simply because the offense are either going to run through and shoot it, which means that you can kill them if they're not concentrating, or they're not going to shoot it and it's going to stop a nade getting through, which could potentially stop them killing you off the point and getting a really easy way onto the point to capture it. Now, that is about it. The only other thing I'd say is just make sure you shoot out trophies when you see them. Other than that, that covers all the offense and all the defense for Garrison Control replay tips. And I hope it's helped you out. Nice one. See you later.